This is a fake one-sided rivalry. We got Angel Reese taking more shots at Caitlin Clark unnecessarily. You in Indiana having a great time partying. We see all the clips. Why can't you just do your thing? Why can't you just do your thing?
Want to see the exact moment Angel Reese's marketing stunt backfired? Picture this. She drops her shoe campaign right in the middle of WNBA All-Star Weekend, plastered everywhere, thinking she's about to steal the spotlight in Indianapolis. The problem? Caitlin Clark gets injured. Ticket prices plummet 48%. And suddenly, Reese's whole campaign looks like she's trying to capitalize on an empty stage. The numbers don't lie. When Clark's out, nobody cares about the theatrics. We're breaking down every cringe moment that Reese did during that weekend and how she's getting destroyed. Comment down below Baby Giraffe to roast her latest stunt. Let's go.
But can Sarah Spain and the media stop going out there and saying that like the Caitlin Clark needs to do something to stop all this, when it is very clear this is a one-sided beef? And the one-sided beef is not from Caitlin Clark.
Everyone thought this All-Star Weekend would be the moment women's basketball finally broke through to mainstream sports culture. You know what was supposed to happen? Clark versus Reese in Indianapolis. Packed arenas screaming. Record viewership numbers that would make ESPN executives actually pay attention to women's sports. The whole thing was set up like a Hollywood script.
We do start our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the WNBA All-Star Game this upcoming weekend in Indiana after re-aggravating a groin injury in that final minute of Tuesday's win over the Connecticut Sun. Clark had missed 4 games and the Commissioner's Cup final with that groin injury earlier this month, and now will be out for this weekend's festivities, which really stinks for fans, but you know that if there was any way that she could be out.
But then Clark's groin injury gets announced just days before the weekend. And suddenly the entire foundation starts cracking. Fans had been planning this trip for months. They booked flights to Indianapolis specifically to watch Caitlin Clark play on her home turf. Hotels were sold out. Restaurants were preparing for crowds they hadn't seen since the NCAA tournament brought March Madness to town. The marketing campaigns were already rolling full steam ahead. Corporate sponsors had dumped serious money into this weekend, banking on the Clark-Reese rivalry to deliver eyeballs and engagement. Nike had special editions ready. ESPN was promoting this as must-see television. Social media was buzzing with countdown posts and predictions about who would dominate.
It's a story we have been following throughout the past 2 days, surrounds a superstar herself, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA star, the Indiana Fever star, Caitlin Clark. She's going to miss all the action on the court.
Clark's home state advantage was supposed to be the perfect backdrop for her. Indiana fans were ready to pack Gainbridge Fieldhouse and show the rest of the league what real basketball passion looks like. The storyline wrote itself. Hometown hero takes center stage at the biggest WNBA event of the year. Then the domino effect started taking shape as news of Clark's injury spread across social media. Suddenly, all those carefully crafted marketing plans looked shaky. The main storyline everyone was invested in just vanished overnight. You could practically hear the air coming out of the balloon.
Caitlin Clark gets hurt, and guess what? Your demand vanishes because people ain't going to pay up to see these athletes that are ungrateful that their sport's growing. People aren't paying up for that. And we are here, right here. The tickets for this game, for this All-Star game, they've dropped by 50%.
Wasn't just any injury, and Caitlin Clark isn't just any player. She single-handedly brought new eyes to the WNBA, turning casual sports fans into daily followers, making people who never cared about women's basketball tune in just to see what the hype was about. Her absence didn't just mean missing a game. It meant losing the one player who actually moved the needle. The weekend that was supposed to celebrate the rise of women's basketball instead became a case study in how fragile the league's momentum still is. All the excitement, all the build-up, all the corporate money banking on record-breaking success, it all hinged on one thing: Clark being healthy enough to play, when she couldn't. It became painfully clear just how much of the WNBA's growth rides on her star power.
But when it comes to the vendors in the arena, the shops in the arena, they're not going to have the same amount of people patronize their business as they would if Caitlin Clark was there. The surrounding restaurants, the surrounding areas, the surrounding attractions, they're not going to have the same number of people patronize their business as they would if Caitlin Clark was healthy.
The carefully planned celebration of women's basketball ended up revealing how much work the league still has ahead. While Caitlin Clark was sidelined with a legitimate injury, disappointing thousands of fans who genuinely came to see her, someone else used the moment to shift the spotlight and make the weekend about themselves.
Reebok, Angel Reese are taking shots at Caitlin Clark, using her as promo. Angel Reese, let's be clear here. Let's just be all the way clear here. Angel Reese is a solid basketball player. Angel Reese 100% has benefited from attaching herself to Caitlin Clark at every single turn. Her podcast, the first 3 episodes, all the clips promoting was bringing up Caitlin Clark. It was bringing up Caitlin Clark in all of the promo. People wanted to know what she was going to say. She used Caitlin Clark as promo.
Picture launching your biggest marketing campaign in your rival's hometown, while she's injured and can't even show up to defend her turf. That's exactly what Angel Reese did during All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis with her "I'm in your city" message. She unveiled her Reebok signature shoe with full-on billboards, a social media blitz, and a tone that screamed territorial takeover, all right in Caitlin Clark's backyard.
Angel Reese, I'm in your city. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. Post it on Instagram. There's about 15 fans there and Reebok put up a board. You would expect Reebok to put up a board. Let's never forget that let's never forget the gigantic Caitlin Clark Nike billboard in Chicago. Let's never forget that. So if Reebok didn't put up a board for Angel Reese,
the timing couldn't have been worse or more intentional, depending on how you see it. Reese's team strategically launched this whole campaign in Indianapolis, fully aware it's Clark's territory. The shoe drop wasn't just a product release. It was a designed statement made in rival ground.
Is you continue to take shots at her, and then when them shots get fired back, nobody likes it. We don't have no videos of Caitlin Clark really taking shots at Angel Reese. Look at what Angel Reese and Reebok are doing for views. Walk in your trap, take over your trap. This is promo they're doing in Indianapolis, where Caitlin Clark plays. That is a clear shot. It's a clear shot. Like I said, this is a fake rivalry. I think you've won 1 game versus Caitlin Clark. You've never won in Indiana at all. It's just like you continue to attach yourself to her at every turn and use her as promo.
Let's be honest. Reese went all in with walk in your trap messaging online, sharing Bankroll Fresh track on her story. But doing that while the biggest rival is out injured doesn't read as confidence. It sounds like claiming a win by forfeit. Fans noticed too. Social media reacted quickly, calling it classless and poorly timed. While a few applauded the hustle, the majority wondered why she was pushing so hard when Clark was dealing with a real injury. Comments swung from light-hearted to not so friendly.
Caitlin Clark has never said a negative word about Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark has never said a negative word, or to be honest, when it comes to Caitlin Clark, she did show it by her actions. Showed it by her actions. She didn't need to say, I'm taking over Chicago. She did, however, go and put up 31 and 12, set a career high with 12 assists, be the only player in the history of the WNBA ever to have 31 and 12 in a game. She did, in fact, do that and then try to hype up the Chicago crowd. So it's fair enough. You want to say, oh, Caitlin Clark did this, then show it with your actions. Go and win MVP. Go and win MVP. Don't just be like, this is my city. Don't just come in and be like, this is my city. You've never won a game. Has she won a game in Indiana? I don't think she's ever won a game in Indiana. I actually do not think she has won a pro game in Indiana.
Actually, she doesn't even have a pro-level win in Indiana. Here's where it gets interesting. Reese chose to push harder instead of adjusting when Caitlin Clark was officially ruled out. Other players showed respect and toned down the competitive messaging. Reese went full throttle as if nothing changed. The contrast was clear. While most All-Stars focused on celebration and the league's growth, Reese insisted on making it about a rivalry with someone who couldn't even step on the court. One video analyst noted her team was smart with marketing, built to provoke, even if it stirred up negativity.
Now with Reebok she's using, this is nonstop. She has attached herself to Caitlin Clark at every single turn, and she has benefited. let's be clear here. Yes, she does receive backlash. She does receive negativity, but she has benefited greatly. She has made millions of dollars off of attaching herself to Caitlin Clark and using her to make her brand bigger.
What was supposed to be a bold marketing play ended up looking like a try-hard move against an opponent who couldn't even step on the court. Talking about taking over someone's city while they're injured isn't competition. It's opportunism masked as confidence. One analyst even called it the definition of an overhyped rivalry. Reese was out there fighting shadows while Clark was dealing with real basketball issues. But the numbers don't lie. The backlash showed up in real drop-offs and lost interest.
This is absolutely a one-sided rivalry. And we've got to say it like it is. Like, we can't say Caitlin needs to do this, Caitlin needs to do that. Let's be real. The only reason this is still a rivalry is because the other side of the rivalry won't stop it. And by the way, it is extremely beneficial for Angel Reese to be in this rivalry.
Want to know exactly how valuable Caitlin Clark is to the WNBA? Just look at what happened when she was ruled out. Ticket prices fell from $121 to $64 overnight, a massive 48% drop. This wasn't a small dip. It was clear proof that without Clark, the product loses half its value. TickPick reported the All-Star Game was set to reach the highest average ticket price in league history at $262, until her injury. That historic demand vanished just as quickly as Angel's credibility did.
The ticket prices, the demand fell off a cliff. And it's not just the on-court product that suffers without number 22, Caitlin Clark. The entire weekend's economic opportunities have felt the fallout. This was conveyed with a July 18th post from NBA Central that wrote, quote, "The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48%, from $121 a ticket to $64 a ticket after the news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing." I mean, the tickets lost 50% of its value. These numbers are confirmed by TickPick's website, currently having the All-Star Game's get-in price at $64. And a July 16th article from Front Office Sports, which was posted before Clark announced she'd be sitting out, was $121.
You know what this means for marquee matchups. Clark's presence boosts demand in ways the WNBA has never experienced. When she missed games in May with a quad injury, resale prices dropped 47% for Washington and 71% for Chicago. Networks had to rethink their coverage plans. WNBA experience packages were sold out, and arena seats disappeared within hours. But when the main attraction didn't show up, all those deals and preparations suddenly looked fragile.
From $121 all the way down to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. These are people saying, I'm done. I don't want to watch. Caitlin Clark's not. I bought tickets solely to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. I made accommodations solely to get to Indiana to watch Caitlin Clark in the All-Star Game. She is injured. I have no interest in that anymore. People are selling their tickets so much so they just want off of them. 121, okay. You want it for 100? Oh no, okay. I guess I gotta lower it to 80. Oh, you don't want to buy it for 80? Okay, I guess I'll lower it to 70. You don't want to buy it to 70? I guess I'll lower it to $64. The WNBA is paying attention to these trends, and they're seeing firsthand what Caitlin Clark is worth to this league.
The ripple effect didn't stop at ticket sales. It hit merchandise, concessions, and hotels across Indianapolis. Local businesses were counting on Caitlin Clark to attract thousands of fans. Restaurants prepared for crowds like it was March Madness. Hotels were fully booked, expecting waves of basketball tourism around the event. This showed just how much the league leans on one player. A star like Clark brings attention, money, and buzz. But when she's out, the whole structure starts to wobble. No other current WNBA player has that level of impact right now. Really unfortunate Caitlin Clark missed the event. The crowd would have been electric. The arena would have been packed. The energy, off the charts. It was a big miss for the WNBA, let's be honest. The numbers told the full story. People assumed Clark was just another rising star until ticket prices dropped 48% when she couldn't play. That proved she doesn't just participate, she drives the show. The league centered the entire All-Star Weekend around her. Without her, fans literally valued the event at half the price. And just as prices and morale crashed, WNBA players wore "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts during warm-ups, a protest that hit at the worst possible time. Fans had just watched their investment lose nearly half its value. The timing made the players look disconnected from the reality unfolding around them. People were thinking, enough is enough, that we've never really seen anything like this in other pro leagues. But in the WNBA, there's a trend of tension between players and the very fan base that supports them. Players chose a collapsing moment to raise contract issues. While collective value was visibly shrinking right now, the WNBA is in intense CBA talks. Players are asking for better travel, more pay, bigger rosters, and support for moms, all valid concerns. But unfortunately, the timing killed the message. Social media backlash came quick. Fans pointed out the irony of demanding raises when the biggest draw wasn't even on the court. Many felt it came off like biting the hand that feeds you. Even officiating complaints, which were legit, got drowned in the bad optics. Clark's injury exposed how fragile the league's value is without her. With a $2.2 billion media deal coming in 2026, WNBPA President Nneka Ogwumike blamed the slow progress on the league's focus on salary caps instead of solutions. This wasn't the time or place. You don't see NBA players protesting mid-All-Star Weekend. You don't see NFL players using the Super Bowl as a platform for labor disputes. The injury, the crash in prices, and the protest stacked into one messy narrative. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert called the CBA talks productive. Players said it was a missed opportunity. Longtime sports fans get it. No one's ever fully happy with refs, but it's about putting the best product on the court. This protest had valid reasons behind it, but visually, it looked like a pay raise request at the worst moment. Even Caitlin Clark said, "We all should get paid more." But she didn't wear a protest shirt. Her absence spoke louder, but here's the bigger picture. This proved Clark isn't just a player. She's the foundation. When she's healthy, ticket records break. When she's out, attention fades. Reese can launch every shoe campaign she wants, but without Clark in the matchup, it felt like shadowboxing in an empty arena. Her return? It'll be even more powerful. And that 2025 Fever Championship run? It's going to be legendary. Comment Baby Giraffe to roast the misstep, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more.